How many spoken word poets has your algorithm recommended to you from Rwanda? You that is in the midst or in the center of a critique. It can't work that way. Every expression has its capitalized. How many musicians have your TikTok algorithm recommended to you? There's a story of a person I admire a lot. He said that even with his intelligence and everything that he had, he wanted to become a artist. So your exposure influences your imagination. Your exposure influences what you see for yourself, what you want. It redefines your taste.
True.
I guess you would get you.
I was going to that, but but then another thing crossed my mind before we even go into forms of environment and all of those conversation. When early this year I was very fervent with writing when I started Good versus Great, and one of the studies I did then revealed how that it is, and I'll say I will bring this conversation back home, is how that the child coming from an elite home has high propensity or a higher propensity to turn out to be great or successful compared to the child coming from an average home. And there are many factors responsible. And one of the key ones that I outlined is this environment conversation that we are having, because your environment determines the conversations you're able to engage in. Your environment determines the place of worship, even down to whether you're a Christian or Muslim. And the place of worship determines the location of the place of worship determines the quality of people that are going to be there. Your environment determines the school that you go to, and the school you go to determines the quality of people you are going to interact with. So, and many other factors, because as we break down environments, we can't eliminate the influence that the people you surround yourself with have on you. Or sometimes it may look very subtle that we don't even realize it. But I like to say that from childhood, when a child is born, which is one of the ways which patterns are created, when a child is born, you are born, the level of your wisdom or foolishness as you grow is determined. Did I say foolishness? is determined by the quality of adults to which you are born into their hands.
Yeah.
Because the moment you are born, you are innocent. You are innocent.
A blank canvas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are born into the hands of elites, you are most likely, or you have a high propensity to turn out wise. Then if you are born into the hands of average people who, in most cases, many of them don't know so much. I'm not saying we don't have average families who have some sort of elite characteristics, maybe in terms of psychology, in terms of sense of reason, quality of their thoughts, habits, and the role of money might not be that tangible, right? They may not be as wealthy as some elites, but some of them have little traits to raise. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Some of them have little traits to raise a sound child. Definitely, you can't match up to the child of the elite. There's no way you can't match up. But then, you can't also be categorized in the same person who was born into the hands of foolish adults, not parents now, adults, could be teachers, could be parents, could be aunties, could be uncles, could be... Okay. Okay. So I'm saying that to say that your point is profound, because if you don't exist in an environment that puts you in the presence of foolish people, you have a higher chance to turn out wise.
Yes.
Right. So coming back to the social media thought I was talking about, I saw a post, I think it's a post, that said that one of these apps, the algorithm is tweeted or manipulated in such a way that it differs from country to country. Now, if you look at, the person said, if you look at two children, one born in USA, for example, another one born in China, if you put the two of them together and ask them what they want to be, and these are people who have been feeding from a particular application, social media application. If you ask them what they are going to be, one of them would say he wants to be an influencer. The other person would say he wants to be either an astronaut, R&D specialist, a neurosurgeon, or something that has to do with science, because the algorithm of China is migrated in such a way that the children consume majorly science content, while the algorithm of USA is designed in such a way that the children consume content that have to do with influence, entertainment, and all of that. So in some way, this algorithm has a way of demeaning their cognitive resonance. Okay, but that's not the conversation. So I'm bringing this back to environment, because environment is beyond physical. It's beyond the physical entity, the tangible entity. Social media is also some sort of environment, right? So what can you say in this regard to how this can decide the destiny of an individual, and also how it creates patterns in people?
Okay. Sound question.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let me articulate it like this. There are three types of environments, but two are linked together. So the one we're talking about is physical environment.
Yeah.
Three of them do the same thing, but we can classify them by two entities, and then two of the three is linked together. So number one is physical environment. Okay. Your actual physical environment. Yeah. That determines a lot in terms of exposure, in terms of opportunities, in terms of even the quality of your life. Then there is the spiritual environment. When I say it's linked together, spiritual environments can now be separated into the people that you spend time with. So into a personal environment, the people that you spend time with, and then the ambient environment, the things that you see, the things that you watch, the things that make up your internal conversation. So there is the physical, there is the interpersonal. These two are spiritual. Physical is different than spiritual. Under spiritual, we have interpersonal environment and then ambient environment. So let's start with interpersonal environment. This is made up of the people you spend time with. That's just simple. The people you spend time with are what makes up this environment. Now, we are sponges in a way, metaphysically speaking. When we were born, we were like that's why I use the word a blank canvas, right? Our experience is what we have observed, the things that has happened, the thing that makes up our memories and our imagination, which is things that we have seen, we have observed. It's slathered onto that canvas, and it's what makes our world. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like every single thing we have observed, the movies you have watched, the people that you have encountered, your school, every single thing that you have observed with your eyes has been slathered onto that canvas. Now, the thing is that the thing that is repeatedly slathered onto that canvas will now become part of the material of the canvas. So it's not just the paint again. It's now what the canvas is. So in a more tangible sense, it's like you can see it like this. But when you wear glasses, you are not seeing the glasses. You are seeing through the glasses.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So back to my my allegory. When you slather paint on something, and you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it, the paint becomes the canvas. So the canvas is now seen through, like it's with the paint.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of white, the paint will now be like blue or something.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So the experiences we encounter repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, they become the lens with which we see the world.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? The thing now is that people we fraternize with, people we are with, that we spend time with, are vessels that paint on us repeatedly.
Okay.
Do you understand? Repeatedly. There is something that somebody will say, but he has been saying it for the past 5 years, and you have been in his midst. Whether you like it or not, he's painting you repeatedly.
Time.
Let's say for example, you live with your uncle, and your uncle is a grade A self-pitier. So everything he finds a way to make himself a victim. Oh, I was sacked. Oh man, this is how the world works against me. The boss hated me, and which might be true. But there is a better perspective you can take. But this chronic self-pitier takes everything that happens as the world is against me and there's nothing I can do about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if this is the person you spend time with repeatedly, and you're engaging conversations, and you sit down in the same room and you are like, you guys are buddies of some sort, even when you don't like the person, as long as you spend time with the person, you will exchange conversations.
Definitely.
So this person is painting on you the quality of self-pity, whether you like it or not. As long as you are in the same environment, which in this point they are the environment now.
Yeah.
As long as you are there, they are painting you whether you like it or not. And it gets to a point where they repeatedly paint you to the point where you now become the paint. The paint is not the way you see the world. It's not like the lens you used to see the world. So at that point, you are now them.
Okay.
You now understand why Jesus said, the poor you always have with you. A poor parent will paint poverty on his children. Repeatedly.
Okay.
Then the son will say, you know what? My son will not escape. I will paint it on my son too. And this is not consciously.
Definitely.
Everybody wants to be rich, but it happens subconsciously. So your uncle that is always self-pitying, before you know, one day, something will happen to you. Let's say, your girlfriend one day will say, I don't know about this relationship because you can't afford the things that I want in my life. Like, you're a poor brokey, you're a brokey, bro. I can't, like...
Are you broke? Guys?
Yeah, that is like the so it's like you're a brokey, and to be honest with you, I can't do it, bro. Like, we have been looking at your potential for the past 2 years. You're still potentialing. When are you going to attain your potential?
Manifest!
You're a loser, bro. Like, when are you going to attain this potential that you keep saying? You say, believe in me, fear my return. You're returning. You have been returning since 2 years now. I can't do this thing, bro.
Oh boy.
So it's like, and then when you receive this, instead of you to take this as feedback, as your reality, and say, what can I change? Because you have been sitting in the midst of your uncle for the past 5 years, what you would think, because this is the way you now see the world, what you would think is not what you would think is not what can I do. You will say, well, this is me, man. Every single time this thing happens to me, like, people leave me, so it's fine. You can go if you want. People leave me. There's nothing I can do. Are you saying that I'm not trying my best? There's nothing I can do. This is who I am. The world has decided this is the life I will live, and this is the life I will live. I will be a poor brokey for the rest of my life.
See, that's even the best of them. That's the best of them.
Yeah.
Because you still have a set of people that would not, they will not just, not that they won't take responsibility.
Yeah.
They will not take it and they won't leave it, they will shift it.
That one is even, that's worse. Because there's another scenario, this thing you just said is so factual, because there's another scenario where the guy can tell the girlfriend, where you go bigger.
That's why you don't have gold.
You don't have, just, what? So, since that I've been saying this thing, what have you done for me? Since that I've been saying this thing, and before the guy will say, you are, please get out from this place. I'm telling you about my troubles and my throats and everything, and you are coming here and you are telling me that this.
And you say, I ask people that would shift it to the devil.
We're not going there. So it's like, you are, there's this popular axiom that says that you are the average of the 5 people you
listen to
or you spend time with.
Yeah.
And that is factual, because these people paint on you, whether you like it or not. Because you see, people think that because you don't have conversations with people, they can't influence you. Most of the things that influence human beings are non-verbal.
True.
Like, just watching how somebody approaches their work can influence you. When you see somebody that is lackluster every time, it gives you a chance to be a slothful person.
Let me cut into buttress that. Yeah. Because this conversation was even recent. We were traveling to Ijebu. That was on Saturday. At the team of management in my company, and our GM was talking about how that he built his work ethics and all of that. So that conversation took me back to how I also developed this attitude of locking in and getting a thing that you focus your mind on done and ensure it is done before you leave there. And I said that culture, not because I was born like that, right? Yes, I love to, people say I'm a workaholic, it's fine, right? But then it's not, there is a genetic part to it, but I don't think it's 100% genetics. I worked with a man. This man he doesn't come to the office all the time. He's the CEO of the company. He doesn't come to the office all the time. Whenever this man comes when he comes to the office, this man can start working. Sometimes we'll resume to meet him, and you realize he has been there since, say, like 7 a.m. and I will resume maybe around 8:30. This man will resume 7. He will work until 8, 9, 10. And I know this because sometimes I stay that long. Because over time, I saw him do these things over and over. I'm talking about the owner of a company who as at then, they have over close to 20 staff. Yeah. And this man will work as though he's the only staff in that company. Yeah. Sometimes if you get to his office, when he had worked for like about 6, 7, 8 hours, he will stand up, he will kneel down. I'm telling you, this man will kneel down. My former colleagues can attest to this. He will kneel down at his table and he's still working. And I will just pass, maybe.
So sit down, not tired. I mean,
maybe his boss is paying him or he's having backache. He will kneel down. And this somebody that. God. Once he enters the office, the first thing he's going to do is to brew his coffee. He will brew the coffee, pour the coffee, and the only time he will stand up when the coffee is exhausted to take another cup of coffee. And he's going to be on that posture for hours. So I saw this over and over and over. I worked with him for about almost 3 years. I saw this over and over and I said, no, if this man is this wealthy, if this man is this successful, and is working this hard, man, what have I done in my life, man? What have I achieved? That will make me not to put such a die-hard work ethic. So what you are saying is so spot on, because when you see these things, even though you don't want to become it, in a way it rubs off on you, and you see it's almost a very good, another good example would be somebody who grew up, or an individual grew up an abusive home, I know this is quite sensitive, but it's just a good example, because you grew up saying, oh, I saw my father do this, I don't want to do the same thing. But on the long run, you discover that if you are not careful, you end up becoming a carbon copy of that thing you saw your father do, even more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just back to what you were saying.
It's as crazy as the fact that even when the person you are with is who you want to be, but they have a certain disposition towards other things that you don't want.
Okay.
But you will still grab that disposition. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like there is no way around it. It's just what you have to do is to choose the people you surround yourself with. See, I've noticed here, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to be very technical, and I'm going to say it once and I'm going to run away from it. I've noticed that most people don't act out of conscious control. They act according to their environmental condition. This is the thing we said about craving and desire.
Yeah.
I want to be a great person, but I am around people that are lackluster. I am around people that are they are so easy going about life. They just want the bare minimum. I won't be great because I am around these people. No matter how much I struggle, there is a I'm going to butcher this quote, but Napoleon Hill said that there is a inkling in a human to want to harmonize with its environment. It's almost natural law.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, even though this is what you want, your environment will dictate your life more than what you want. So yeah, it's crazy, but it's just the way it is. So if you want to change your life, there was something that somebody said on Twitter, and it was like, if you want to change your actions and change the things you do, that you need to create evidences for the person you want to be. That is fair, and that is true. But there is something that happens before your actions.
Yeah.
There is a background process that is going on before you act. In fact, the things you do are inspired by your environment. You are not even in control. So if you think that, I must take action now, I must go to the gym, or you say, I'm not going to the gym, I will do my home gym, I would work out in the house. You're already taking decisions from what your environment has decided for you. You will stay there and do home gym for 1, 2, 3 weeks, and before you know, you are back to where you were.
So sometimes you are not even the one making
the decisions.
No,
the decisions are brought out for you from the environment you are in. So even though you say, I have free will, I can choose, sure, okay, but what are deciding the options that I'm choosing from? I think this is how God operates. It's like, choose. It's me that will give you the option. So whatever you choose is my will. It might not be my perfect will, but it will be an acceptable will. If it is not acceptable, it will be good, but it is my will. So choose. I'm not choosing these days you will serve, sure, but it's me that will control the options. So I think that is the same principle. It's recursive in environment. The things that you are choosing are dictated by your environment already. So if you want to change your life, you have to change your environment so that you can have better options.
Whoa.
So yeah, that is it for people as an environment. So there's another thing, there's an ambient environment. This one is tricky a little because it's not it's still about people, but it's people that you are not in physical environment with, right? And it's more about what is going on in the consciousness of where you are taking information from. So let's say the media, for example, social media.
Okay.
There is an ambient spirit in social media, which is largely negative in terms of like, there is this thing on Twitter, and I don't know if it's just me, But there is this thing about gender wars on Twitter. Any small thing, it is men versus women, men versus women, men versus women. And I'm like, brother, like I came on Twitter for certain people. There are certain people that are here that I came to read. I know that you had issues in the past, and I don't mean to be insensitive, but I know that your relationship did not work because you couldn't satisfy your girlfriend, or your boyfriend was narcissistic. I know, but you don't have to now bring that and discredit every single man that you have encountered or every single woman, and then you are blotting out your wounded perspectives on social media. So that is what I mean by ambient spirits. It's like there is an ambient environment of gender wars, of misandry and misogyny. So if you open your mind to that consistently, it starts to affect you. Even when you say, I have critical thinking, sure, continue eating from that well or drinking from that well. You will be poisoned sooner rather than later. It is the ambient environment, it's what it does. You will harmonize with the environment whether you like it or not. There is this beautiful writer on Twitter. I think her name is Ifemini or Ifemini, I can't remember, but she's a beautiful writer. Like, when I read her stuff, it's as if I'm like acting it out in real time. That's how lucid her writing is. She posted one tweet and she was like, because she comes, posts for a while and she goes back. Somebody was like, why do you come online and you are like, you post for a while and you go back? Why are you not, why are you intermittent? She was like, there is only so much I hate men I can read. Before it starts to corrupt me, bro. There's only so much we hate women I can read. Like, there's only so much negativity I can observe before I now become negative. I'm paraphrasing, but that's like the message of what she said. So there is an ambient spirit, there's an ambient environment that governs certain spaces. That is not physical, but it is spiritual in the metaphysical sense. And they influence your life. Those things to our environment. If you consume content that glamorizes lethargy and complacency and doing the bare minimum, just doing enough, soft life. The only reason why we work is to not come and die. So we work just for the sake of earning a living so we can enjoy. If you are consuming all of those content and you are consuming all of that, where do you think they're going? They're not. The universe abhors about a vacuum. Yeah. It's going somewhere, and it is painting on your canvas. The more you consume, the more it is painting. Before you know, you become it. And that is the lens through which you see the world. And this is not just social media. This is every media you consume, even books. There's one girl that posted on Twitter. She had a lot of books that she has read, and people were looking at the books that she has read, and the books were, brother, I've forgotten the technical term, but it's like pornography, but in words. Okay. Okay. Romance novels. And the people were like,
I still wonder how people read romance novels and so on. I've never been able to wrap my mind around.
Reading is reading, but bro, what are you reading, bro? Like, sure you are reading, but these things they are painting you. So if the multitude of what you consume is pornographic content in scribbles and writing, those things influence your thoughts. Your thoughts influence your frequency. Your frequency influences who you are. It influences your actions, and your actions influences who you are. So the whole background process that is going on before you take action has already been hijacked by what you are consuming.
Whoa.
Before you know now, you are in this relationship and you are in this situationship and you are confused. Oh, why do I demean myself so much and settle for a situationship? Brother, you read 8 books on how a man should hold your body. What do you think would happen, bro? What do you think would happen? So it's like, and I'm not saying this as a bastion of humility and a bastion of holiness. There are things that we consume as a whole that we should not be consuming because they affect us. They are environments that control how we live.
True.
So yeah, it's the physical environment that's there. It is the ambient environment, and it's also the interpersonal environment. These are the 3 things I think in terms of environment that really they are variables for our destiny. They are key variables for our destiny. Key variables. Like if you fail in these 3 things, like if you make mistake in these 3 things, I'm sure you can't make it. There's no prayer, there's no fasting, there's nothing. What you put in is what you give out. There is and there's a piece of genetics we will get to. But in this conversation of environment, you can't become someone of substance if you fail in these things. Or is it fail? It's not fail, it's just if you consume darkness, you will become dark.
Definitely.
It's not a thing of bad or good. It just is. It just is. So yeah.
This is profound. I'm not going to lie. This is so profound. So you see, guys, when I say this is one of the smartest person I know, you guys think I'm copying. Now I think I think you've seen it for yourself. So okay, so let's try to bring this home because we need to end this. It's looking like we'll even still do a part 3 of parts and parts, but it's okay. So last question I want us to have is this. I'm sure persons listening, having to hear all of this thought process, some persons may be asking, okay, so this is the situation I find myself. How can I come out? How can I change the patterns? How can I rewrite the patterns that are dictating my life? One of the craziest things you mentioned is that sometimes there have been situations where the decisions you are making are not even your own decision. Like, man, let me just begin. Because that's even reminded me of the one of the quotes I made during the first episode of Pass Apart when I said that your life experiences will determine your belief system. Your belief system will determine your decisions, and your decision will determine your destiny. Right? So, how can one have had a rough background? I'm not so surrounded with brilliant minds. My family is not in that space where I can say, oh, by the lessons I have been able to learn, or by the experiences that have occurred with me staying with them, has not really been a beautiful one. But I want to be a different person. I want to rewrite the patterns that make suggestions in my life. Where can I start from, and what are the things I need to do? Let's just points, say 2 or 3.
Okay. There's still a lot we have to say in terms of what makes up pattern and paths.
Yeah.
But I guess that'll be another episode.
Definitely.
But for what to do, according to what we said today, like I said before, your actions are a consequence of the background processes in your head already. So it's like if you are trying to change your actions, you're already too late, because there's a myriad of things that has happened behind in your cognition. So number 1, you start with environment. This is hard for people because the people that are struggling, usually you see that they are living with, either they are squatting with somebody that is squatting with somebody, or they are living with their families, and it's their families that are the influence that is not really necessary for their growth. So you have to plot your way out. You have to plot your way out. But before you do that, design your environment.
Can you break that down?
Right. So, the beauty of humans is that we, unlike other life forms, like trees and plants and all of those things and animals, they are limited to where they were born in some sense. A tree is planted, it's loyal to its roots, it's not going anywhere. But for humans, we have the luxury of changing environment. And if we cannot change the environment, before we change the environment, we can design the environment we're in now.
Good. Now I hear it.
That one's still going.
Yes. Let me find this. You are like you want to talk like
Where I go lie down?
for fun.
Floor?
Couch.
That chair.
Okay.
Where did I stopped at?
I think you have started answering the question.
I started asking the question actually.
Why did you
Did you start that one?
I think I did. Double confirmation. I'm not coming out crying. It's quite enough today. Good. Ne?
Are you
Good,
sure?
good, good,
Is
good,
it,
good.
are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not paused?
It's recording. So I actually posted before.
Yeah. So, one of the beauties of humans is that we can design our environment and we can change our environment. Other life forms, they don't have that luxury. Except we move them, they don't have that luxury. Move them to zoos or this and where they were born is where they will die. But we as humans, we have the luxury of choice, relatively, but we have the luxury of choice to choose to move or to design our environment. So designing our environment means that you create a space that makes the person you want to be thrive, even with your limited resources. So you make things that are hard for you, you make them easier in your environment. Hard for you to become the person you want to be, you make them easier. And you make the things that are easier for you but are against the person you want to be, you make them hard in that environment. So you design your environment in a way where the things you need to think about are plastered on the wall. The things you need to do are readily available. Instead of putting your books inside the wardrobe, remove it and put it on your desk.
On my bed.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
Right? Design your environment in a way, if there is a smell that comes from downstairs that hurts your ability to think or hurts your ability to focus, find a way to get rid of that smell. If there is a light that is not good for you, let's say the color, because color can affect your mood. So there's a color that doesn't, this blue dead color that affects your mood and always makes you moody. Remove it and put a warm light. You have to design, and people say you're taking it's too deep. It's deep, oh. It's deep. You have to, every variable you can change to make it work for you. Something James Clear called, he was referencing something as the aggregation of marginal gains. I think that is what it's called. It is like, it basically means you do everything, you make sure every variable that you can affect, you make sure you do it towards your success. Every single thing that you can do. Every single thing. If it is when you wake up, your bed, let's say you don't have a bed frame and your bed is on the floor. When you wake up, to discourage you going back to bed, you take the bed and you stand it up. Or you remove the bed from the room.
Let me give you a practical. This may sound extreme.
Yeah.
But I did it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Sometime, one of those days when I traveled to Enugu for work, I was working on a project. And that project was, the deadline, it was on a Friday, the deadline was the following day, Saturday.
Yeah.
I had to submit that job by, I think, 8 a.m. on Saturday. And I was very tired. By the design of my body, I can't meet up that 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I'm usually used to waking up late, right? But on that day, I was just too tired. And you know when you want to do something and everything within you want to go to bed.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I said, okay, to refresh myself, I was going to take a nap. But if I take this nap on the bed, it's 9 a.m. I'll wake up.
Yeah.
What did I do? I moved my system a bit and I laid down on the table.
Yeah.
By the time I couldn't sleep 30 minutes. My body was aching, my back was aching. Bro, I stood up.
No,
I sat again. I finished the job. Did I suffer? Yes, I suffered. But did I finish the job? Man, I got the job done.
Fuck it. So yeah, it's exactly what you said. You give yourself no choice but to become that person you want to be. No choice. There's something Alex Moses does, he says, and people take him as an extremist. But I take him as a practical person. He knows who he is and he knows what he needs to do to him. What he does in his office, he takes blinds and he shuts his windows. And the only thing, he designs his office in a way that the only thing that he can do is his work.
God.
Nothing else. No bed. The chair that is there is chair that you will use to sit near your computer. So I think there's a coffee machine or something, and everything is designed for him to walk. Sleep, sit on the chair. So it's like, if you can't move, you got to design your environment. And this is for the physical part. You got to design your environment and change every single thing you can change. From what you see, to what you hear, to what you smell, to what you feel. Anything you can change. That is one. The second one, for interpersonal environment. If you can't leave the environment where they are, reduce your interaction and your proximity to them. If you don't leave your room. Stay inside your room. Make sure that it is not as frequent. And I know this is harsh because you see, sometimes people can love you and pull you back. Because intentions is okay, but actions don't agree with intentions. They agree with what is subconsciously pushing you to do something.
Yeah.
So you might consciously intend, I want this person to grow, but subconsciously you don't want them to grow above you. Subconsciously you want them to be safe. You don't want them to be courageous. You don't want them to try new things. You want them to be as they are because they are safe. So the people that love you, they might love you, and they do love you in most cases, but their intentions do not follow their actions oftentimes. So the things they talk about, they might talk about the only things that they may talk about Big Brother Nigeria or football and all of these things. And while that is fine, it might not be the thing you need to listen to or the conversations you need to have for where you are now. Because life is already leading you 5-0. What time do you have for football? And I know this is the only life we have. You know, we should live life to the fullest.
Fans will come for you.
They should come for me. You will have time. You will have time to do all of those when you have escaped poverty. Now that you are inside poverty, the life you want will demand sacrifice. And I don't like using the word the life you want to be is hard to get. I don't think it's hard. I just think that what it is that it is new. And when something is new, there will be resistance.
Yeah.
So that resistance is what you would have to bear. And in that resistance, there will be sacrifices. So they love you, but you might have to separate yourself. And if you don't want to, it's fine. You have to be cool with where you are, though. Don't just drink it. You have to be cool with where you are. But if you want the life that you want, that you know that you have to sacrifice to get, you're going to have to reduce your interaction with them until you can leave. And go and find people that you can be in their midst, and any form of mediocrity, they will socially ostracize you out of it. Like, bro, there was a video I watched that made me laugh. The cat was the cat was bought. So a family bought a couple of dogs,
Okay.
and they eventually bought a cat. And the cat, from where the cat, they bought it as a kitten. So the cat grew among dogs. So when the cat got to a level, they recorded the video. The cat was barking. It was trying to bark.
Whoa.
So with its limited genetic predisposition for barking, because a cat should not bark, a cat should meow. But with its limited predisposition for barking, it just
Wow.
that thing made me.
Wow.
It was so surreal to me because it further expatiates what I'm saying. When you are in the environment, interpersonal environment of success, of people that value success and people that are going at it, they don't burn you well. You will go at it. If you don't go, you will leave them.
Yeah. You can't
No. When the people that are in your environment, this one is a workaholic, this one owns five venture capital agencies, this one, this. And you, as a graphic designer, you will stay in their midst. You will find a way. You will find a way. As long as you want to remain there, you will find a way. And most of the things I'm saying are largely capitalistic.
Yeah.
But we're in a capital world, a capitalist world. There's nothing. You have to play the game, or you'll be left in the dirt. So reduce your interaction and your presence with them. I'm sorry, they're your family. Some of them, they're your uncles, and some of them, they're your friends. I know, I understand, I get it. I didn't say you should not love them. I say love them from a distance. So that is for the interpersonal. And go and find people that you can be with, that inspire you in that regard. Then for the ambient environment, that Instagram model that you are following,
It's not come out good.
that don't like men, you gotta follow, bro. That person you are following that says the life that they are made for is soft life and anything outside it is below them. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to unfollow. Because they are talking from the environment of poverty. You see, it's people that are poor that want happiness over everything. Because they need an escape.
Yeah.
Rich people don't care about happiness. Wealthy people, happiness is fine, yeah, but it is an emotion that we experience sometimes. What they care about is fulfillment. What they care about is transgenerational domination. They don't care about, they care to an extent, but their focus is not happiness. So all those people that that you follow, that the only thing they talk about is a utopia where you live and everything that happens to you is comfort and enjoyment and indulgence. Brother, you're gonna have to unfollow those people. Those people that are morally decadent, that you watch and they praise debauchery, they praise all these obscene things, and they praise things that in the grand scheme of things they don't matter. You have to unfollow all of them. You have to, the books that you read, I'm not saying don't read. I'm not saying, if you want to read your romance novel, read your romance novel. But you got to also read things that are pushing you towards the person you want to become. Everything that is an ambient thing in your life, that is influencing you, that you are observing something from, you now have to design them. You have to, okay, this is what I need to study, this is what I need to watch, these are the people I need to watch, these are the things I need to watch. Any other thing outside it, maybe not now. All those, they'll come from me if I say it. But those artists that glorifies women and bomb and flashy lifestyles and all of those things that you watch and you feel a sense of escape, a sense of escapism, you've got to stop all of those and actually watch people that will show you the way out, show you the way into the city. read Naval. Study MJ DeMarco. Read people that have Jesus Christ. Study Alexander the Great. Watch the podcast How to Win, How to Take Over the World. Study people like Steve Jobs. These are the people that the things that they have been through, the stories of their history. Caesar, all these people that attained something and attained global dominance. When you read them, the fruits of their spirit, of what they have encountered, will be the seeds of those things will be dropped in your consciousness, and before you know, you come up with something.
Oh.
So I don't know if there's a lot of things you can come up with when what you are listening to is. You know what? Let's not go there. Let's not go there. I've done too much already.
Oh,
so yeah, that is how you change in terms of environment. It is that you become an active participant in your life. You design things. You take the paintbrush of life and you direct it the way you want it to go. I would suggest that you leave the environment before you say design. Because when you leave the environment, you still go and design the environment again. But if you can physically leave, do it. That is the best. That is because it's not just we're talking about environment. It's not just the room, it's the house. And in quintessential Nigerian living situations, the house you are living is not your house. It's housed with other families. And unfortunately, those families too might be like your family in terms of they are not exposed. So if we leave the house, it's not just your room, it's the house. And then it's not just the house, it's the street. There are people in the street that will make the spirit of mediocrity thrive. So it's not just about even leaving your room, it's about leaving the whole street. But then again, if you can't leave for now, design your room, design your environment, design the things you take in, because they will determine the things you bring out.
Profound, man. Yeah. So spot on. My goodness. So I've tried to narrow everything you are saying to I think 3 things. First, you have to come with a lot of intentionality.
Oh my God, yeah.
Second, you have to play a lot of selective deafness.
Oh.
Then third, you need mentorship.
Yes.
So this is what I think is a summary to all of the expressions that you gave, and this is so important, because I'll say this and I'll wrap up. One thing I've also noticed is when people, I just hope this will not be a long conversation. I've noticed that when you start growing, or when an individual starts growing, if that's why I mentioned the idea of not knowing what you want, but knowing what you don't want. Because when you're operating under that circumference, once you are able to break away into a level of comfort, the price to pay to move to the next level then become very expensive for you. You begin to think differently, because you find yourself in a comfortable environment and you don't want to leave that environment. Not because you can't afford that price, but maybe fear, I don't know, but I think something just sets in and it makes you, it conforms you to that. Like you're talking about a graphic designer. I believe that it is easier for someone who has not started earning from a low skill. When I mean low skill, I mean in terms of monetary wise now. Someone who has not started earning from that skill, it's easier for you to break into a better and a more a skill with a higher potential than someone who is already earning. Because the moment you start earning, it brings you some level of comfort. then you then start asking, well, I'm making some money.
Yeah, there are more incentives.
Exactly. Then this to now pay that sacrifice to go into something higher, it becomes very, very difficult. I'm saying this from a practical place now.
Yeah,
because just yesterday, I had to pay for a course. Now, while I was paying for this course, I was telling myself, I procrastinated paying for this course for over 2 weeks. Because I was asking myself, what exactly do I still need this course for?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something this person wants to teach that I don't know already? I just don't asking myself. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me that the reason why I don't want to pay is not because I don't have the money to pay. Bro, the money is still in my account. But I've never paid that amount of money for a course before.
Yeah.
So I felt so comfortable with what the level I am.
Yeah.
To now say, why would I part with so much just for a course?
Mm-hmm.
So that comfort almost took over my mind, and then I realized that until I'm able to pay for this course,
Mm-hmm.
I may not be able to break out from this level where I find myself. Mm-hmm. So, man, it's it's a lot.
This thing you said about when you are lower, you are more likely to break forth to a higher place than when you are in the middle.
Mm.
You know, there's this frog experiment that they did where they put a frog in a hot pan.
Yeah.
The frog will jump out.
Yeah.
But if you put the frog in a lukewarm pan and you just you rise the heat gradually, it will remain in that boiling water until it dies.
Mm.
The worst place you can be is when your mediocrity is being incentivized.
Mm.
Not because if you are poor, like if you are in the lowest place, if you are the lowest rung of the ladder, you are motivated to leave.
Mm.
Because when you experience shege, premium shege, where your landlord is insulting you and your parents is asking you for money and this and that and this and that and this, all of these things there is ample motivation, because if you don't motivate, you will die.
Yeah.
So there's ample motivation to move.
Survival pushes
So
you.
it pushes you. It's not a good form of motivation, but it's motivation nonetheless.
Mm.
Fear is a very good motivator. But when you are in the middle, you are not that great, but you are not that bad. I can send more money for family. I can pay my rent. I can do the bare minimum. I'm having small chops there every now and then. I can go to a restaurant and come back. Where is the fear factor for you to?
Yeah.
Now it's not more about, it won't be about the hell you are running away from. It will not be about if you can push yourself to run towards the heaven.
That's the idea of most people don't know what they want. They only know what they don't want.
Exactly. And this is the thing about the environment. When you put yourself in an environment where there is no way to look but forward. There's no way to look but forward. You will go. I said this thing before. I said I will touch on it and run away, but I will touch on it again and run away. I don't think people are as conscious as they think they are. It is the environment that is directing them. So if you are in a situation where the fire is not hot, but the heaven is not alluring, it's you are okay here. You have to design the environment to push you towards something.
So it's easy to survive than to thrive.
You don't bring another one entirely. We are made for survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
your brain doesn't care.
Find a way to figure it out.
Your brain doesn't care about.
When it then becomes to leave that survival mode and enter into success, then you start to battle.
Your brain is more of I want you to be safe. It doesn't care that you're successful. As long as you have food to eat, you have somewhere to live. Sure. Watch Netflix.
Let me end this. Let me end it. So guys, man. You see, I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point. Because it looks like anything I say is a nugget for another conversation.
Oh
But then again, you would agree with me that this has been nothing but profound conversation. You see, Deep Dive Podcast is somewhere that I can't just bring anybody. There are levels of conversation that some persons cannot sustain, and that's why I'm always very grateful for this intelligent young man who,
It's been a pleasure.
yeah, right. So I'm always grateful for every conversation we have, and sincerely, you think it's a podcast, but this is a normal conversation. I'm telling you, this is
Just
a
another
normal
Thursday.
It's just that the difference this time is recorded.
It's camera, yeah.
This is our normal conversation. We do this over and over, and it has helped us in many ways, and I think that's one of the reasons why we decided to start putting these things out there to help as many persons who will be fortunate enough to and selective enough to sit down to listen to the truth, because we're not going to try to romance you, pet you to come out of what you are dealing with. At the end of the day, the life is yours. The decision is yours to make. If you choose to remain there, it's all good and fine, man. It doesn't, that you choose to remain there does not mean I'm going to remain there or he's going to remain there, right? So thank you so much for taking our time to listen to all of this. Please, as much as you can, share this podcast to people you love and you want them to be better, and engage with the comments. Let's know what stood out for you and the things you will decide to do differently. Also, so I everything algorithm to suggest this podcast to as many persons who should see this. Thank you so much for your time, and Pantera. Thank you.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so
doing
much
this.
for having me.
And
Yeah.
absolutely, we're still going to have it for the next episode. Absolutely, because we need to do justice to a lot of things that we did not touch. A whole lot of things. If I tell you the amount of things in my head to talk about, but for time. So thank you so much. And guys, thank you again, and I will see you on the next one.